Today, 2.8 million Pi tokens are being unlocked, and this is just the start of a major release schedule that will see billions of tokens entering circulation over the next year. But here's the big question. What will this mean for Picoin's price? Could the price rise as the Pi network continues to grow, or will the added supply push it down even further? In today's video, we're diving into what this means for the future of Picoin, the massive impact of token unlocks, and what you can expect as the network evolves. So here's a question for you. How do you think the Pi network will handle these token releases? Will the price rise or fall? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to check out my previous videos to stay caught up on the latest developments of Pi network, link in the description. Oh, and don't forget to drop a Pi network to the moon and your country name in the comments. I love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. If you're enjoying these updates and want more, hit that like button, share with your friends, and make sure to subscribe. Show us some love so we can keep bringing you the latest Pi network news and updates. And hey, if you want to connect more, join my Telegram and Facebook page for the most up-to-date discussions. Just a quick reminder, this video is for entertainment purposes only. It's not investment advice, so always do your own research. Now let's dive into it. If you've been following the Pi network's journey, you know that things are moving fast. And there's never a dull moment. One of the biggest news stories right now is the unlocking of a whopping 2.8 million Pi tokens, a significant event that marks the beginning of a much larger series of releases. But what does this mean for the Pi network, its price, and the community at large? Let's break it down. With over 1.5 billion tokens set to enter the market in the coming months, the question on everyone's mind is how this will impact the Picoin's price. As it stands, the token is still trading at nearly 80% below its all-time high. We saw an insane price surge earlier this year. Picoin skyrocketed by 2,600% in just a few days, reaching $3 in February. But since then, it's been a bumpy ride. The price has dropped by over 80% from its peak, leaving many investors wondering what's next. Could this new influx of tokens cause another drop, or will it open up new opportunities? This token unlock is part of an ongoing schedule that will release a staggering 108.9 million Pi tokens in just April 2025 alone. Then, as the year continues, 134 million tokens are expected to be unlocked each month. As you can imagine, this creates some serious uncertainty in the market. With such a large volume of tokens entering circulation, what's going to happen to Picoin's value? We've seen this kind of thing before in the crypto world. When a new supply of tokens hits the market, it can create price fluctuations that leave investors on edge. In some cases, it causes the price to dip, especially if demand doesn't keep up. But here's the thing, the release of tokens isn't always a bad sign. For some, it's a sign of progress, growth, and even stability. If handled well, token unlocks can bring much-needed liquidity to the market, which could set Picoin up for long-term success. But here's where it gets tricky. As the supply of Pi tokens continues to increase, demand will need to follow suit. This is the balancing act Pi network must master. If the network can generate real-world utility for Picoin, then the price could hold strong or even rise. Think about it. More tokens circulating could lead to greater usage, greater adoption, and ultimately, a stronger ecosystem. The challenge is that right now, Picoin is still in its early stages of mainstream adoption. While the network is growing, it still needs to prove that it can stand the test of time and fulfill its promise of providing real utility. If Picoin fails to establish itself in the broader market or doesn't find meaningful use cases, the increasing supply could dilute the value of each token. The good news? The Pi network community is strong, passionate, and ready to push for utility and adoption. But that doesn't mean there aren't challenges ahead. As more tokens enter the market, there's a chance that investors might sell off their holdings, causing a temporary dip in the price. But in the long run, these token releases could serve a larger purpose if they're tied to strategic developments within the ecosystem. For example, Pi's partnership with businesses and real-world applications could give Picoin the legs it needs to run. If companies start accepting Pi for payments, or if the coin becomes integrated into various industries, it could open up a world of possibilities. This would, of course, require careful planning and execution from the Pi network team. As we've seen in the past, cryptocurrency prices are highly volatile, and the next few months are going to be crucial for the Pi network. With millions of tokens set to be unlocked, the price could go either way. But as we all know, the cryptocurrency market has a history of unexpected turns. What we've seen so far from PiCoin's journey shows that volatility is a major player in its price movements. The real question is whether Pi can build a foundation strong enough to handle that volatility and emerge as a top player in the space. Now let's talk about some of the larger unlocks scheduled for later in the year, because they could seriously shake up the dynamics of the Pi network economy. We've got some major milestones on the calendar. Over 649 million tokens will be unlocked from May to July, flooding the market. Without strong demand, this could push prices down. Token unlocks bring volatility, and without real utility, the risk of stagnation grows. Pi network must focus on real-world use and adoption, because in crypto, value comes from what tokens do, not just how many exist. The key to staying competitive is building real demand, not just distributing supply. Strategic partnerships and practical use cases will be essential to show that Pi isn't just a vision. It's a working network with real economic value. Strategic collaborations with established businesses and platforms could attract not only crypto enthusiasts, but also institutional investors and serious long-term holders. These kinds of developments inspire confidence, signaling that Pi is building a sustainable and scalable ecosystem. In turn, this could help stabilize the coin's price, reducing speculative volatility and encouraging organic growth. The more Pi becomes intertwined with daily life and commerce, the more likely it is to solidify its position as a viable digital currency in the mainstream market. But, let's be real, this isn't going to be easy. Pi Network is walking a fine line, trying to balance token release with the development of its ecosystem. The key to success will be consistent progress and adoption. Without real-world use, Pi could face a tough time as more tokens flood the market. So, where does that leave us? The next few months will be a testing ground for the Pi network. Will the new token unlock lead to more growth, or will the market be flooded with supply and little demand? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, the journey is far from over and the future of PiCoin is still being written. The Pi network is at a critical juncture right now, with millions of tokens unlocking in the coming months. Whether or not PiCoin can maintain its value and continue to grow depends largely on how the community and the network itself respond to these challenges. The key is whether Pi can create meaningful use cases for its tokens, attract more adoption, and keep the momentum going. If you enjoyed this update and want more insights into the Pi network, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to show your support. And of course, if you have thoughts on the token unlocks, or if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.